What's up, everybody? Matt Gajewski here, back again with the Odd Shopper channel. And today we are here to talk college football week 6, the best bets. We have a full show dedicated to the full slate on this very channel called Betting You, myself, and Ben Raza. This is the condensed version, just talking the biggest games of the slate. Before we get started, make sure to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you know when this and all other content goes live. We're brought to you by Bet365, and they have a deal for those of you in Kentucky, Ohio, New Jersey, Virginia, Iowa, Colorado, Louisiana, Indiana, Arizona, North Carolina, and Pennsylvania. What you'll do is click the link below, make your first deposit, then wager $5 on any game. Could be a total or a side. Whether it wins or loses, you will get $200 in the form of bonus bets. You must be 21 or older to play, 18 in Kentucky. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, please call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. All right. Tricky week 6 slate. I had a hard time ranking the games. We do not have a Georgia-Alabama matchup on the slate. So bear with me as I tried to do the top of the games and then give you a bet that I really like. I don't know if this is the best game. It's two ranked teams. It's Missouri and Texas A&M, which might flat out be the best game on this slate. Right now, you can find Missouri at a dog price. Plus 2.5 is pretty consistent. There is a lone minus 1.5 in favor of Texas A&M, if that's the side you prefer. But I prefer Missouri, and this is one I have yet to take because you might get a 3 if you wait till Saturday morning. We will see on that. But right now, I think Missouri is the team that is a little bit underrated heading into this game. And they've had some blips on the radar. They barely beat Vanderbilt. That was a game. They actually had a 27% post-game win expectancy. They should have lost. Vanderbilt missed a kick in overtime that would have at least tied it and kept the game going. They also had a single-digit win against Boston College, so it hasn't been all that pretty for them. Texas A&M had the loss to Notre Dame, and since then they have rattled off 4 straight wins, although 2 of them came with a sub 50% post-game win expectancy. Bowling Green, they were at 47%. Arkansas, they were at 37%. So what do these two teams do? Missouri, I think, has not played up to their full talent on offense. Their line has been pretty good. They're top 20 in both run blocking and pass blocking, but they haven't gotten a lot out of their receivers yet. They still have Luther Burden. He's been hurt to start the year, but he's playing through it. They just had their bye, so hopefully he's actually a little healthier. They still have Weiss and Cooper and Norfleet, and Nate Noel's been a solid addition at running back. A&M is 63rd on defense. They're 93rd in coverage, which is why I think the Missouri passing attack and buying low on them is important in this spot. Now, you do have to go to College Station. That's no easy feat. On the other side, we don't know who's playing quarterback. There's legitimate smoke that Wegman is going to play in this game. We will see. A&M has a good offensive line themselves. They're top 31 in both run and pass blocking, but I still don't know about the quarterback situation. Their pass game ranks outside the top 100 in total efficiency. They had a terrible showing against Notre Dame, and Missouri is still 19th on defense. The only place they are really struggling is coverage, and they're not even struggling. They're 61st. And 25th against the run, which is where Texas A&M has found most of their success. So stylistically, this does favor Missouri. I want to get a 3, but this is one we shall wait on. All right, our second game, I don't know if this is the second biggest game, but Washington and Michigan. You've got Michigan going across the country. This is still very weird to me that this is technically a Big Ten game, but it is what it is. Michigan has taken some money, and I eventually will buy in on Washington. The ones are semi-interesting to me right now. They're juiced, which is not something I like. It's effectively a 1.5. And if you like Michigan, the best you can find is a +2. So on Michigan, this team is extremely alarming to me. They were just outgained yards per play against Minnesota, and that had a weird ending. The onside kick, controversial as it was, there was other stuff in that game where Minnesota sort of just handed it to Michigan. They fumbled on their own 16. That was a Michigan 16-yard touchdown drive. They had a punt block that led to an 11-yard touchdown drive. Minnesota did themselves no favors, and the fact that they still had 4.5 yards per play to Michigan's 4 is alarming to me on the Michigan side of things. They flat out can't pass. Orgy is averaging 3.7 yards per pass attempt. The offensive line is reasonable run blocking. They're still 111th pass blocking. They have some chinks in their armor. So on the Washington side, can they defend this Michigan attack? I think The answer is yes. Their defense is 27th overall, and they're 29th against the run. Now you can add extra resources to potentially defend that. This is one of the better defenses Michigan will have faced this year. Obviously, they played Texas. That should be number one. The other question is, can Washington move the ball? They've gotten pretty good play out of Will Rogers and especially Jonah Coleman. He's been one of the best running backs in the country. Their receivers have lived up to expectation. But Michigan is still good on defense. They're 14th overall in the country. They don't really have a strong, or I guess a weakness is the better way to put this. And Washington hasn't faced the best competition. They did play Northwestern and Rutgers. Rutgers has a solid defense overall. And that was a game Washington actually should have won. They had a 72% post-game win expectancy. They missed 3 field goals in the game, which if you even hit one of those, it's a tie game, and then who knows what happens. But it's a potential buy low spot on Washington. This is the first road trip for Michigan, which I think is also important. Another one I haven't bet yet, but it's one I firmly intend on taking on the Washington side. One that is already on the card is Indiana. Not a marquee game. They're playing Northwestern, but one I think has a lot of value. I was able to take this at 11.5 early in the week. I am entirely fine with this through 13.5. I would like that number rather than a 14 with the half point you get value-wise, but Indiana is a team that has been a covering machine. They were tough to evaluate with the new coaching staff, bringing in a lot of transfers, but they've all blended well. The O-line has played much better than I thought it would this year. They're currently 43rd in pass blocking, 28th in run blocking. And they've stood up well. They played really easy competition, but then they had some tougher tests of late. Maryland has a pretty good pass rush. It's the strength of their defense. And Indiana's moving the ball with Rourke. Their receivers are fine. Northwestern is 39th in total defense, but they're 66th in coverage, which doesn't match up well against Indiana. And then on the other side, Northwestern's already benched their quarterback. They've moved to Jack Lau. She has 4.8 yards per attempt, a 48% completion. That's horrifying. Indiana's defense should be able to stand up. They're 9th overall in total efficiency, and they're top 20 everywhere. Even against bad competition, I get it. When they've stepped up, they've still looked fine. So I think all lines are semi in play for this if you can find good numbers, but a 13.5 firmly in play for me. If you want the full episode, Betting You, myself and Ben Raza went through everything. You can always request games in the comments or reach out to me on Twitter at Matt_Gajewski. Otherwise, until next time, good luck.